Now, the prospects of implementation of India's biggest tax reform ever since independence have brightened, with the GST Council today clearing 3 enabling bills, one that also deals with compensation for states due to loss in revenue collection due to the implementation of GST. Included in that, the Finance Minister, Arun Jaitley, briefed the media after the GST Council's 2-day meeting. It was the 7th in a succession of meetings, and he says that he's working really hard to ensure that GST implementation happens on time next year, which is by the 1st of April.
In a significant breakthrough, the Goods and Services Tax Council or GST Council has cleared the model GST law, the SGST or state GST, and the CGST or the central GST in the 7th meet. State GST draft laws needs to be approved by the state legislatures, while the CGST draft laws needs to be approved by the Parliament. Basic draft of compensation law was also approved. Compensation law has to be approved by the Parliament. The GST compensation bill will provide a legal backing to the centre's accord to compensate the states to the full extent of 100% if their revenue growth rate falls below 14% in the first 5 years of GST rollout. The base year for calculating revenue of a state has been decided as 2015-16.
Primary draft of CGST and the SGST law, comprising of 197 provisions and 5 schedules, has been approved. States will be compensated to the extent of 100% of loss which is directly attributable to GST implementation for a period of 5 years. And therefore, we had already spent 2 or 3 days discussing the compensation package.
But the Council is yet to produce a solution to the tangled issue of dual control and cross-empowerment. GST Council will next meet on January 3rd and 4th to discuss dual control, which are related to the approval of integrated GST or IGST law needed to fix indirect taxation for interstate trade.
The main item is, of course, the IGST and the dual empowerment issue. The secondary is the legally vetted language, which will be placed in the next meeting. And for this purpose, we'll be again meeting for 2 full days on the 3rd and the 4th of January for this purpose.
Finance Minister also said that the government is trying its best to implement GST from 1st of April, and he will also hold budget consultations with state finance ministers in January 3rd, 4th meeting.
Well, I'm trying my best, that's all. I don't want to hasten the process of discussion. I don't want to delay the process of implementation.
The GST Council has already decided on a 4-tier GST tax structure of 5, 12, 18 and 28%. Luxury items and demerited goods would be taxed at the highest rate and would also attract a cess to create 50,000 crore rupees corpus for compensating states for loss of revenue. Indirect tax structure in India is highly complex with hidden costs for trade and industry. The introduction of goods and services tax would be a very significant step in the field of indirect tax reforms in the country and would boost the GDP growth. It's over to next year, as the GST Council will next meet in the first week of January 2017. Considerable gains have been made in the last 7 meetings of the GST Council. Only few issues remain, such as cross-empowerment. But all in all, 2016 will be remembered as the year in which India gave approval to its biggest tax reform. With camera person Rajesh Ricky, Siddhant Sibul, DD News, New Delhi.